Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we are going to start exercise 6.3. The first question states that we need to complete the following table regarding sine, cos, tan, cosec, sec and cot theta. Now, a point to remember is that sine theta, cos theta, and tan theta are all the three main trigonometric ratios or functions. But if you take reciprocals of them, that means if you take the opposite of them, then that is cosec, sec, and cot. So, total we have six trigonometric ratios. So, we need to complete these following table regarding the value of theta. In the first, we have sine of 0 and that is already filled as 0. But what is the cos of 0? So we can write that the cos of 0 will be equal to 1. And then we have the tan of 0. So the tan of 0 will be equal to 0, because let's suppose that the sine of 0 is 0 and the cos of 0 is 1. So what will be the tan? We know that the formula for tan theta is equal to sine theta divided by cos theta. So we can say that 0 over 1, but when 0 is divided by 1, that results in 0. That is why our tan is 0. Now, if we take the reciprocals of these three main trigonometric ratios, like cosec, what is cosec? It is the opposite of sine. That means 1 divided by 0. So anything divided by 0 is undefined. So we can say that cosec 0 is equal to undefined. And then we will have sec. So what is the sec of 0? That is equal to 1, because that is the opposite of cos. And the opposite of tan is cot. So we can write that the cot of 0 will be equal to undefined. Now we need to find the sine of 30. Now what is the sine of 30? We can say that the sine of 30 is equal to 1 by 2. And then what is the cos of 30? So the cos of 30 will be equal to under root 3 by 2. Then what is the tangent? Tangent means sine divided by cos. So tan 30 will be equal to 1 over under root 3. Okay, so now we need to take their reciprocals. So what is the reciprocal of sine? That is cosec. So cosec 30 will be equal to 2, because this will be swapped. The 1 will go to the denominator and the 2 will go to the numerator. So we can just write 2 over 1 or 2. Then the opposite of cos is sec. So sec theta will be equal to under root of 2. And then tan theta, the reciprocal of tan theta is cot. So we can write cot theta is equal to 1. Now we need to find the trigonometric ratios of 45 degree. So what is the sine of 45 degree? The sine of 45 degree is 1 over under root 2. And what is the cos of 45 degree? The cos of 45 degree is also 1 over under root 2. If you watched my previous lecture regarding the unit circle, then you know that when we have 45 degrees in the unit circle, that means that if you divide 90 by 2, then the length will, then a right isosceles triangle will be formed. That means that the value of the perpendicular, which is y, will also be equal to the base, which is x. So that is why sine of 45 and cos of 45 are the same. Now we also need to write the tangent of 45. So the tan of 45 will be equal to under root 3. Now let's take the reciprocals. So the reciprocal of sine will be cosec. So cosec 45 will be equal to under root 2. Same as for cos, we have sec of 45 and that is equal to under root 2. Then we will take the tan of 45. The tan of 45 will be 1 over under root 3. Now let's find out the trigonometric ratios for 60 degree. So the sine for 60 degree is equal to under root 3 by 2. Then the cos of 60 degree is equal to 1 over 2. And then the tangent of 60 degree will be equal to under root 3. And why is that? That is because under root 3 by 2 is divided by 1 by 2. So we will change the sign from division to multiplication. So when that sign is changed, the value are swapped. That means the 2 will be on above and the 1 will go at the bottom. So 2 and 2 get cancelled and we only remain with under root 3. Now we need to find the reciprocals of sine 60, cos 60 and tan 60. So the reciprocal of sine will be cosec. So cosec 60 is equal to 2 over under root 3. Then the sec of 60 will be equal to 2 only or 2 over 1. And then the cot of 60 will be equal to 1 over under root 3. Now let's move on and find the trigonometric ratios for 90 degree. So we can write that the sine of 90 degree is equal to 1. The cos of 90 degree is equal to 0 and the tan of 90 degree will be undefined because 0 is at the bottom. And then we need to find their reciprocals. So we will have cosec 90 and cosec 90 is 1 and then we will have sec 90. So sec 90 will be undefined as well as cot 90 that will also be undefined. Now we will do the same for 180 degrees. So we can write sine of 180 degree and that is equal to 0. The cos of 180 degree is equal to negative 1. The tan of 180 degree is equal to 0. And then we will find their reciprocals. So cosec 180 is equal to undefined. And then what is the sec? So sec of 180 is equal to negative 1. And then instead of tan we will write cot 180 and that is again undefined. Now we will do the same for 270 degrees. So we can write that the sine of 270 degrees is equal to negative 1. The cos of 270 degrees is equal to 0. And then the tan of 270 degrees is equal to negative undefined because 1 divided by 0 is undefined but the sign is minus, so we will write undefined but with the negative sign. After that we will find the cosec of 270. So the cosec of 270 is equal to negative 1. After that we will find the sec. So the sec of 270 is only undefined and then the cot of 270 is equal to negative undefined again. And for the last we will find for 360 degrees. So what we will do, we will just write sine of 360 degree and that will be 0. Then the cos of 360 degree that will be 1. Then the tan for 360 degree that will be 0 again. And now we will find the reciprocals. So we can say that the cosec of 360 is equal to undefined and then the sec of 360 is equal to 1 and for the last cot of 360 will be equal to undefined. And if you focused on the table, then you might realize that the same trigonometric ratios for 0 degree are also the same for 360 degree. So this is a point that you should always remember. Now we will move on to question number 2. We need to evaluate the following. We have sine 60 minus cos 30. So how can we solve this problem? Let's write it here. Sine of 60 minus the cos of 30. As we know that the sine of 60 is under root 3 by 2, while the cos of 30 is also under root 3 by 2. So when all of these get subtracted with each other, we only remain with 0. So 0 will be our final answer. Then for the second part of question number 2, we have sec 45 multiplied with cosec 45 subtracted from sine 30 and multiplied with cos 60. So how can we solve this expression? Let's write sec 45 multiplied with cosec 45 and then it is subtracted from sine 30 again multiplied with cos of 60. So what is sec 45? Sec 45 is under root 2 and cosec 45 is also under root 2. So they will be subtracted with 1 by 2 which is sine of 30 and multiplied with the cos of 60 which is also 1 by 2. So when under root 2 and under root 2 get multiplied with each other, they result in under root 2 whole square minus 1 over 4. So now this square get cancelled with the root. So we get 2 minus 1 over 4. Now we need to make the denominator same. This means that 2 will be multiplied by 4 over 4. And that results in 8 over 4 subtracted from 1 over 4. So 8 minus 1 is 7. So our final answer will be 7 by 4. Okay, so now we need to move on to part 3 where we have tan pi by 3 subtracted from tan pi by 6 divided by 1 plus tan pi by 3 multiplied with tan pi by 6. So in order to solve this, first if you remember the video, the lecture that I delivered on degree to radian measure, and we learned that pi it is equal to 180 degree. So what will we do? We will divide 180 by 3, then 180 by 6, and then 180 by 3 and 180 by 6 again. And then we will place those values and then find the tan for that. So this is a pretty easy question. Let's try to solve it. Let's write the expression first. We have tan of pi over 3 that is subtracted from tan of pi over 6. Then the division sign is occurring here and 1 is being added with tan of pi by 3 multiplied with the tan of pi over 6. Okay, so pi is equal to 180. Now what is 180 divided by 3? That is 60. So we can write tan of 60 subtracted from tan of 30 because 180 by 6 is 30. So we can write this. Then we will use the division sign and we will just write 1 plus tan of 30 60 and then it will be multiplied with the tan of 30. So what is the tan of 60? The tan of 60 is under root 3. And what is the tan of 30? So the tan of 30 is 1 by under root 3. So we can write under root 3 multiplied 1 by under root 3. And another mistake that I made here, I shouldn't write tan 60 minus 30. I should write tan 60 minus tan 30. And here the multiplication sign will be removed. I'll just add the subtraction sign. Okay, and then I will divide this by 1 added with tan 60 and tan 30. So we will write in the denominator 1 plus under root 3 multiplied by 1 over under root 3. Okay, if you look at the sign in the numerator, it is minus. So that means we will change the denominator to under root 3. So suppose the denominator here is 1, it will be multiplied with under root 3 by under root 3 on here. And from below it is multiplication sign, so that get cancelled and that remains with 1. So 1 plus 1 gets converted to 2. So what can we write here? We can write under root 3 whole power 2 divided by under root 3 minus 1 over under root 3, and then we will place up the denominator sign, and then we will write 1 plus 1 which is equal to 2. Okay, so now this squared will get cancelled with the root, and what do we get? 3 minus 1, so that is 2. So we can basically write 2 over under root 3 divided again with 2. But we cannot write our final answer as this. This division will be converted to multiplication and the 2 will be swapped. So instead of 2, it will be 1 by 2. So we can write then 2 over under root 3 is multiplied with 1 by 2. So here 2 and 2 get cancelled with each other and we only get 1 over under root 3. So this will be our final answer. Now let's move on. Here on part 4, we have cos square pi by 3 minus sine square pi by 3. So here this question is the same. They just wrote pi. Instead of pi, we're gonna write 180. 180 will be divided by 3 and then we will take the cos of that value and then we will apply squared on that. So let's write the expression. Okay, so we have cos square of pi over 3 and that is being subtracted with sine square of pi over 3. So now what will happen is that pi by 3, that means 180 divided by 3, that is 60. So we can write cos square of 60 and that is being subtracted from sine square of 60. Now what is the cos of 60? We know that the cos of 60 is 1 by 2 and then we will apply whole square. It will be subtracted from sine of 60, that is under root 3 by 2 and we will apply whole square again. So this will be converted to 1 over 4 subtracted from, and then this 2, here we have 2, so it will be cancelled out with the root. So we will just write 3 over 4. So 1 minus 3 over 4, that leaves us with minus 2 over 4. Now this will be simplified. So 2 gets cancelled. This results in minus 1 over 2. So this will be our final answer. Now let's move on to part 5, that is sine pi by 2 multiplied cos pi by 3 minus cos pi by 2 and sine pi by 3. So the expression which we have is sine pi by 2 dot cos pi over 3 minus cos pi over 2 multiplied with sine pi by 3. So what is 180 divided by 2? We know that that is 90. So we can say that the sine of 90 is being multiplied with the cos of 60 subtracted from the cos of 90 multiplied with the sine of 60. Now what is the sine of 90? That is 1, while the cos of 60 is 1 by 2. That will be subtracted with the cos of 90, which is 0, multiplied with the sine of 60, which is under root 3 by 2. Now 1 multiplied by 1 by 2, that results in 1 by 2. Subtracted from 0 multiplied with under root 3, that results in 0 over 2. So our final answer will only be 1 by 2, since 1 minus 0 is 1. Now let's move on to question number 3. For theta being pi by 6, verify the following statements. What does this basically mean? It means that if the theta is 180 by 6, we divide that gives us 30. So we need to verify the following statements. Okay, so the first statement is tan 2 theta is equal to 2 tan theta divided by 1 minus tan square theta. So how can we solve this expression? Firstly, we know that the theta is equal to pi by 6. So if we simplify that, that means that the theta is equal to 30 degrees. Okay, so the first statement is that tan of 2 theta will be equal to 2 tan theta divided by 1 minus tan square theta. So just we need to apply the value of theta. Theta is 30. 30 multiplied by 2 is 60. So we can write tan of 60 being equal to 2 multiply tan of 30 divided by 1 minus tan square of 30. Okay, so what is the tan of 60? The tan of 60 is under root 3. So under root 3 will be equal to, okay, we know that tan 60 is equal to under root 3, and that will be equal to 2 being multiplied with the tan of 30. So what is tan of 30? That is 1 over under root 3. And now this will be divided with 1 minus 1 over under root 3 whole square. Why? Because we took the tan of 30, then we applied whole square on it. So we will just write under root 3 is equal to, now we will write 2 over under root 3 divided by what? 1 minus 1 over 3, because the square got cancelled with the root. So now what will happen is that we will make the denominator same. Here we have 1, so it will be multiplied by 3 by 3. Okay, so when that is done, then this will go to the top in order to be converted into the value. It will go to the top so that the sign gets changed to multiplication. So we can just write here under root 3 is equal to 2 divided by under root 3 multiplied by 3 over 2, because now it got flipped, and what will happen is that the 2 get cancelled, and we will have under root 3 is equal to 3 over under root 3. But are we done here? No, we aren't. Why? Because we know that 3 is equal to under root 3 and under root 3 again. So we can simply write under root 3 is equal to under root 3 into under root 3 divided by under root 3. So this and this get cancelled. So that means that under root 3 is equal to under root 3, or left hand side is equal to right hand side. So this will be our final answer. Now let's look at the second statement. The second statement is sine 3 theta is equal to 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta. Okay, so we will just write the sine of 90 is equal to 3 sine of 30 minus 4 sine cube of 30. And then let's start with the left hand side. The left hand side is the sine of 90. So the sine of 90 is equal to 1. Now what will be the right hand side? That is 3 sine 30 minus 4 sine cube 30. So we can write 3 into 1 by 2 minus 4 into 1 by 2, but whole cube will be applied. And after that, here we will write 3 by 2 minus, and then this will be 1 over 8. So we can write 4 multiplied 1 over 8, and then we will have 3 by 2 subtracted from 4 over 8. Now we need to keep the denominator same. But instead of keeping the denominator same and multiplying this with 4 by 4 in order to convert the denominator to 8, we can simplify this fraction. So this will be 1 and this will be 2. So that means that 3 by 2 is subtracted from 1 by 2. So 3 minus 2 will be converted to 2 by 2. And 2 by 2, they both get divided and the answer will be 1. So that means that the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. Okay, then for part 3, we have cos 2 theta is equal to 1 minus 2 sine square theta. Let's solve this statement. So the statement is cos 2 theta being equal to 1 minus 2 sine square theta. So let's start with the left hand side. In the left hand side we have cos 2 theta, so that means cos of 60, because 30 into 2 is 60, and that will be equal to 1 by 2. That is the cos of 60. Now we will move on to the right hand side. The right hand side is 1 minus 2 sine square theta. So instead of that we will write 1 minus 2 sine square 30, and then 1 minus 2 bracket 1 by 2 whole square. So what will happen is that we will have 1 minus 2 bracket 1 by 4 here, and then 1 minus 2 over 4. So this will be multiplied by 4 by 4. So what do we get here? We will have 4 by 4 subtracted from 2 by 4. Okay. And then what will happen is that 4 minus 2, so we get 2 by 4. Now this will be 1 and this will be 2. So that means that our final answer is 1 by 2. So you can say that the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. Okay, now let's move on to part number 4. In part number 4 we have sec square theta minus tan square theta, and that is equal to 1. Let's write the statement. Sec square 30 is subtracted from tan square 30, and that is equal to 1. Now what is the sec of 30? That is 2 divided by under root of 3, and we will apply whole square, and then the tan of 30, that is 1 by under root of 3, and we will apply whole square on it too, and that is equal to 1. So we know that this will be 4 over 3 because the 2 get cancelled with the root, and then here the same will occur. So we have 4 by 3 minus 1 by 3, and that is equal to 1. So we will get 3 over 3 being equal to 1. So 3 and 3 get cancelled, they result in 1. So 1 is equal to 1, or you can say that left hand side is equal to right hand side. So this is our final answer. Now if you look at the last part, which is cosec square theta being equal to 1 plus cot square theta, how will we solve this statement? So we will write cosec square of 30, and that will be equal to 1 added with cot square of 30 instead of theta. After that, what is cosec of 30? That is 2. So we will take the square of 2. After that we will write 1 plus and then the cot of 30, that is under root 3, and then we will apply whole square on it. So this will be 4 being equal to 1 plus 3. So we can say that 4 is equal to 4, and this is our final answer. Now we will move on to question number 4. We need to write the value of theta for the following ratios. So sine theta is equal to under root 2 by 2. How can we write the value of theta? Okay, so let's solve this expression. We know that sine theta is equal to under root 2 by 2. But how will we simplify this ratio? So we know that 2 or any other number is equal to the under root of that number 2 times. So instead of writing 2 as it is, we can write that sine theta is equal to under root 2 divided by under root 2 and under root 2 again. So under root 2 and under root 2 get cancelled, and that leaves us with only sine theta being equal to 1 over under root 2. So what trigonometric degree we have that its sine is equal to 1 by under root 2, that is 45 degree. So we can write that the theta is equal to 45 degree. You can use this by your calculator or even by the table that we just solved. You can check that table and you will notice that okay, what degree I have, that the sine of that degree is 1 by under root 2. Now let's move on. In the second part, we have cosec theta being equal to -1. So how can we find the theta of this? So let's write cosec theta being equal to -1. So what degree we have? What degree we have that its cosec is equal to -1? That is 270 degree. So you can write theta is equal to 270 degree. Okay. Then let's look at the third part. We have tan theta being equal to 1. So let's write here tan theta being equal to 1. So which degree do we have that if we take the tan of that degree, our answer will be 1. So what is that? That is 45 degree. So we can write theta is equal to 45 degree. Okay, and then if you look here, we have sec theta, and that is under root 12 by 3. So it's pretty easy to find this. Let's write sec theta is equal to the under root of 12 divided by 3. Now what is under root of 12 equal to? We know that it is equal to 4 multiply 3. But if we take the under root on both sides, that means that the under root of 2 is 2, but the under root of 3 just remains as the same. So this means that instead of under root 12, we can write sec theta is equal to 2 multiply under root 3 divided by 3. But what is 3 equal to? We know that 3 is equal to under root 3 both times. So we will write that here, and under root 3 get cancelled here. So we need to find the sec of theta, and it will be 2 by under root 3. So the theta, it will be 30 degrees. How will it be 30 degrees? We know that the reciprocal of sec is cos. So we can say that 1 over cos theta is equal to sec theta. But now we will place the value of sec theta that we just got. So 1 over cos theta will be equal to 2 divided by under root 3. And then we can say that cos theta will go on the above. It will go to the numerator instead of being below. And when it does that, then the under root 3 will also go above and the 2 goes down. So we need to find the cos theta of under root 3 by 2. So what will that be? That means that the theta will be equal to 30 degrees. And then now let's look at the fifth part. The fifth part is cos theta being equal to 0. So we know that the cos of 90 is equal to 0. So we can write cos theta being equal to 0. So the value of theta will be 90. This is our final answer. Okay. Now we need to move on to question number 5. Question number 5, what does it state? It states that if the terminal ray of theta is in the first quadrant and the cos theta is equal to 1 by 2, then we need to find the remaining trigonometric ratios of theta. So let's solve this question. So we know that the cos of theta is equal to 1 by 2. Now what is the formula of cos? That is base divided by hypotenuse. So that means that the value of base is 1 and the value of hypotenuse is 2. But we aren't given the value of the perpendicular, which we will call y. So by using the formula of Pythagoras theorem, we can say that 1 square plus y square is equal to 2 square. So that will be 1 plus y square being equal to 4, and y square will be equal to 4 minus 1, or simply y square is 3. So we will take the under root on both sides and we will write y is equal to under root 3. So we found the value of y along with x and the hypotenuse. So now we can easily calculate the trigonometric ratios. So first, what we find? We will find the value of sec. So sec, it is the opposite of cos. We know that the cos is 1 by 2. So our sec theta will be equal to 2. Then we will find the sine. So the sine theta will be equal to under root 3 by 2, because sine is equal to the perpendicular over hypotenuse. And then we will find the tangent. So we know that the tangent is equal to the perpendicular over base. So that is under root 3 only. And then we will just find the reciprocal of sine theta. So that is cosec. So we can write cosec theta is equal to 2 over under root 3. And then for cot theta, we will write 1 over under root 3. So this is our final answer for question number 5.